So the secret surrounding D-Mac being Tommy's nephew is something that's been teased ever since episode 2, and we've seen them building and building for this huge reveal, and it does seem like it's going to happen at some point in episode 8, especially after D-Mac was kicked out of the plans that he made with Marshall, and after we saw him telling Tommy that he needs to watch his back. You can really sense that D-Mac is going to side with Tommy, which was always going to happen based on D-Mac's character description. But this part from episode 8 synopsis tells us that there's more shocking details about Tommy's family that will surface. So could there be more than just D-Mac being Tommy's nephew being revealed? So this is something I'm going to circle back to, but first we need to set the foundation by rewinding it back and reminding ourselves of how D-Mac was described before the season started. Now he's a young man who's been raised in the streets of Chicago's South Side, independent, fiercely loyal, and completely unflinching when called upon to represent his crew. D-Mac is still a kid at heart, looking for someone to take care of him. After a run-in with Tommy proves to be more than a fluke, D-Mac looks to Tommy as he hits crossroads in his life that can completely upend his future. And this is where we're currently at with D-Mac's character. He's definitely at his crossroads in his life, because we've seen him hitting JP's jazz club earlier on in the season, knowing that this is his father's, to then saving JP from Marshall when he came face to face with JP for the first time in 14 years. And when they came face to face with each other, D-Mac knew that JP was his father, but JP doesn't know that this is his son, and that's because he was taken away by his moms when JP came out, and that was to protect D-Mac, but it only pushed D-Mac into the streets and him growing up in the game. And in episode 7, we got a bit of a hint that he's not exactly the brightest when he couldn't even think of the word careers, and you can tell he's someone who's missed out on education, having a mentor and a father figure, and despite his moms taking him away from JP, it doesn't seem like she was in his life much either, and this is why he's fallen to the streets and was loyal to Jannard, because he doesn't really have anybody else or know any better. And we saw him showing his loyalty to Jannard ever since episode 2, only taking orders from him and not Diamond. And when Elijah was killed, we've seen Jannard throwing the blame in Tommy's direction, because attacking the Serbs was his play, so we saw him asking D-Mac to follow him and report back. But when he followed Tommy the first time, he overheard this conversation between JP and Tommy.
I'm trying to have a real moment with you. No, you blowing rainbows and sunshine up my ass.
Well, you can't have one without the other.
And it does make you think he probably thought that Tommy and JP had something going on, because he knows that his father's gay, so he didn't want anything to do with following Tommy, so he returned the 5k to Jannard. But what changed was D-Mac and Marshall, they were trying to make their moves and come up, with Marshall's cousin in Indiana, so we saw Jannard using this as an opportunity to get D-Mac back on Tommy, telling him that if he wants to step up with the CBI, then he needs to find Tommy for him first, because he still wants to smoke him for what happened to Elijah. But what actually changed from D-Mac staying loyal to Jannard to warning Tommy was the moment that Jannard made his intentions clear about going behind his own brother's back with Diamond, where Jannard said he'd been sitting still in his cell for far too long, and he made D-Mac realize that Jannard can't be trusted, because if he's willing to go behind his brother's back, then what was he willing to do to someone like D-Mac if he ever got on the wrong side of him or didn't do as he says? So despite D-Mac showing his loyalty to Jannard over the few scenes that we've seen from him, we saw him come to the realization that maybe Jannard isn't the best person to be backing in this situation. And he's right, because Jannard definitely doesn't know who he's fucking with, because he's signing his death certificate coming from someone like the Grim Reaper. But there definitely is more to this, so linking this back to D-Mac's character profile, he's someone who's still just a kid, looking for someone to take care of him, and Jannard isn't exactly this father figure type of guy, who's always high on his own product, so seeing Tommy with his father JP could have also been in the back of his mind. So instead of seeing D-Mac follow Tommy, we saw him approach him and warn him that he needs to watch his back, and Tommy will know it definitely wasn't Diamond, because even though he was questioning him about Dahlia, he'd be more upfront, whereas a snaky move like this is definitely a Jannard type of move. So I'm sure Tommy will have a hunch that it was Jannard, and Tommy definitely will be keeping a close eye on him. But this is now the start of D-Mac looking to Tommy as he hits crossroads in his life, and we are so close to Tommy putting 2 and 2 together about who D-Mac really is, and I do think it's going to happen in episode 8, because part of episode 8 synopsis does tell us that more shocking details about Tommy's family will surface, and when he realizes the news could potentially affect his business, and one of the shocking details could be the reveal of D-Mac being his nephew, and when this does happen, you can see D-Mac looking to Tommy as this mentor and possibly reuniting him with JP. But how exactly is this going to impact Tommy's business? And is D-Mac the only secret that's going to surface, or is there actually more to these shocking details? And I go back to how I made reference in this video to Kate potentially being banished by Walter Flynn for having JP because of his racist ways. And could Walter Flynn even be paying for Miriam Egan's nursing home fees? Because I know I'm not the only one who can't help but think there is definitely more to this story with Tommy's family secrets. Because it has been a huge focus point of this first season of Force, and the synopsis of episode 8 really does tie in with not just this video, but the video I made last week, which I will leave the link to down below in the description and comment section. So for those who haven't seen it, it definitely is worth a watch, because I run through a lot of questions that I believe we need the answers to with JP and James St. Patrick. So drop all your thoughts down below and let me know what you think these shocking details could be, because episode 8 is always a big one, and D-Mac's reveal as Tommy's nephew may not just be the only reveal. So drop all your thoughts down below in the comment section, and of course if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, then remember to smash the subscribe button if you want to see everything Power Book 4 Force and Power Universe related. But as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.